What's up guys, my name is TechNumber here for Troubleshoot, and today I'll be showing you how you can go ahead and install NaturalVision Remastered. Now, a quick note before we actually get into this video, it will probably be quite long, so make sure to check the description down below for timestamps, or look at the bar right below the video. If it's split up for you, then great, you have access to the new feature. Anyways, with all of that aside, there is one incredibly important note about this. This is the quote-unquote outdated version of NaturalVision. This is NaturalVision Remastered. They talk about NaturalVision Evolved coming early 2020, and that time has arrived. It's now in early access, and the video promoting it has absolutely blown up. Though unfortunately, as you probably know by now, the only way to actually get that mod is to go ahead and donate at least $10 to Raised's Patreon. And as you can see, with 4,907 members, I'd assume most of which are paying for this early access, things are quite lucrative for Raised himself. Anyways, if you'd like access to this NaturalVision Evolved one, this is the only way to get it currently. There are a ton of quote-unquote leaks for this, but I can guarantee you that most of them will fill your PC with viruses. So with that out of the way, this is not a tutorial on installing NaturalVision Evolved, this one over here. This is a tutorial on installing the slightly older, and most importantly, free NaturalVision Remastered. So before we get started with the actual installation, this download here is about 400 megabytes. So I'd highly recommend clicking that link in the description down below to take you to the NaturalVision page now, even though we're going to start actually installing with something else. I'll go ahead and click download and download once again, and it'll start a 460 megabyte download. Now, of course, my internet's rather fast, so this isn't an issue for me, but if you have slower internet, I'd recommend you go ahead and start this now for later. Anyways, before we get into the actual requirements, you will need OpenIV installed and working on your PC. If you haven't already done so, make sure to check the description down below for a link to a tutorial on how to do that for the Epic Game Store version of the game. Then, of course, if you'd like to, we can go ahead and install VisualV as well, which is another mod that'll help things look quite a bit better. This will also be linked down in the description below. It's a 200 megabyte download, so of course, I'd recommend you go ahead and start this one as well. In total, it takes us to about 600 megs, so hopefully your internet is more than powerful enough to download that. Once we've downloaded both of these, we'll start by installing VisualV, and then we'll get to NaturalVision in the next half of this video. Again, timestamps are in the description down below. And of course, if you don't want to, you don't have to install VisualV for NaturalVision to work. This is purely just optional for a couple of extra nice effects. So I'll go ahead and open up the VisualV file that we just downloaded. And I'll go ahead and open up OpenIV as well. This will let us modify the RPF files and actually get this working. So looking at the RAR file that we downloaded, we have a nice little README over here that starts with a really long changelog, and scrolling down to the very bottom will eventually reach an installation section. From here, number 1, 2, and 3 have probably already been covered. Of course, I'm going to be using OpenIV, and we probably also initialized OpenIV. If you haven't, link will be down in the description below. And of course, if you don't have ScriptHook 5 installed, check the description down below for a tutorial to do that. Otherwise, assuming that you have all of these 3 steps done, we can continue with this step over here. Click Tools, Package Manager, and choose Install VisualV.oiv. Then I'll go ahead and double click on Installation via Mod Package, and I'll extract VisualV onto our desktop or somewhere similar. Then I can close out of the zip, and we just have this file over here. Then I'll head across to Tools, followed by Package Installer. Then I'll navigate to where VisualV.oiv is, double click on it, and we'll get this nice little package installer. Simply read through the info here and click Install. Then we'll get 2 options: install to the mods folder or install to the game folder. We don't want to click the second option because it's going to be harder to remove and play in online mode. So simply click on the mods folder option above, and then we have this over here showing the game path it's going to install to. Simply make sure that this is correct and then hit install. Then it'll go ahead and install VisualV, and when it's done, we get the option to run. Though we won't be doing that, we'll hit close, and we'll open up the second file that we downloaded, which is the archive containing NaturalVision Remastered. This is the 400 meg download that I was talking about. Anyways, once we've opened it up, it'll look somewhat like this: main files, manual install, optional add-ons, NaturalVision Installer.oiv, and a bunch of readmes. Simply double-click on README English, of course if that's your language, otherwise double-click on a different one. Then this page will open up in your browser. It contains a ton of information about it: update logs, requirements, getting ready, updating install instructions, and a bunch more that you can go ahead and read through yourself. What we're going to be focusing on is this section up here, requirements and general info. We've already gone ahead and installed VisualV, OpenIV, and we're currently in the process of installing NaturalVision Remastered. So getting ready. Before we begin, make sure your game folder is clean. Mine is rather clean already. And if you're using a previous version, follow these steps over here to uninstall it, and these ones over here as well. So we're going to skip straight to install instructions. So step 1, extract the NaturalVision Remastered archive to your desktop and don't touch anything. Download OpenIV we've already done. Step 3 we can skip as well because we've already installed VisualV. And we'll scroll down to step 4. Go back to the NaturalVision Remastered folder, run NaturalVision installer.oiv through OpenIV, and alternatively you can manually install it. But we'll be continuing with the automatic installation just because that's a lot easier. So to start with, I'll go ahead and extract all of these files onto a folder on my desktop for nice easy access. So after making a new folder, I'll just drag and drop them out into this folder, and I can close out of the RAR that we downloaded. Then I'll go ahead and make sure we have NaturalVision installer.oiv. I'll head into OpenIV, Tools, Package Installer. Then I'll select NaturalVision Installer and click Open. Then we get this nice little pop-up over here with some information, and I'll click Install. Then I'll select a Mods folder and install once again. Then NaturalVision Remastered is installing, and there we go. Now it's done installing. I'll click Close, and we'll have a look back at the NaturalVision install instructions. Now that we finished step 4, we'll move on to step 5 over here. So click on the folder labeled main files and open it. So I'll do exactly that, main files, and we have these inside of it. What we need to do is simply add these to our main GTA 5 folder. Note that we don't add this to the mods folder. So I'll go ahead and put the GTA 5 folder next to this, and I'll simply drag and drop them across into the main folder over here next to OpenIV.asi and the rest of our ASIs. Then once that's done, I can head back. Manual install we didn't follow because we used the automatic installer. And of course, if you want to use any of these optional add-ons, you can go through each one and see if you'd like to use them as you wish. Depth of field, etc, etc, and a lot of them have install instructions inside of them. If you see a folder with an OIV file inside of it, we'll simply install it the same way that we did the actual mod. And in fact, all of these over here seem to be OIVs, so it's pretty simple to install. This one over here is the Mercedes-Benz 300 SL, and of course this is just another car, so in order to show you what this would look like, I'd go ahead and go to Tools, followed by Package Installer, and I'll navigate to this folder inside of our extracted files. Then I'll double click on the OIV I want to install, and this is the Mercedes-Benz, so I'll simply click Install, Mods, and it'll go ahead and install the car for us. Having a look through the rest of these are mostly just slight differences that we can go ahead and change, like depth of field, lens flares, ThunderBolts, etc, etc. So you can install these as you like. We'll just go ahead and wait for this to install, close, and you can go ahead and install any other ones if you'd like. So in fact, I'll go to Package Installer and I'll have a look through these. I'd probably want precise ThunderBolts, brighter taillights. I'll install the Weapon Overhaul pack as well. And then I'll also go ahead and do ENB, though as you can see, this doesn't have an automatic installer. So, having a look at the ENB folder, normal preset, we have all of this over here. So, to activate ENB, you must download these DLL files and place them in your GTA 5 folder. Heading across to this link, we find a mega page where we can go ahead and download ENB-only DLL files. Opening up the zip, we can close the browser, head back to our games folder, and drag and drop everything out directly into it. Then I'll close it, close out of the README, and then have a look back here. So we have these files over here. All we need to do is select all of them and drag and drop them across into the GTA 5 folder as such. There we go. With all of the optional add-ons out of the way, now NaturalVision Remaster has finished installing. You can go ahead and read the rest of the tips, so adjusting brightness to be 50%, time cycle script, and a bunch of previews for the optional add-ons. Then we get tips on what trainer to use, enabling volumetric lighting, which I think I'll probably like to do, even though it causes a slight performance drop. I'll simply head across to this documents folder over here. So documents, Rockstar GTA 5, settings.xml, and I'll open it with a Notepad++. Though of course you could probably also do this with just Notepad. Then I'll look for the line lighting fog volumes, which is right over here at 37, and make sure it's true. Mine's already true, so that's good. Then we can check mod compatibility, as well as a bunch of recommended mods. So we have a trainer section, texture mods. So I would go ahead and download all of these ones, though some of them conflict with NaturalVision Remastered's textures. So I'll only go ahead and download a few of these. I would assume these beaches over here are probably the ones that they're talking about. Though because he recommends California architecture, I'll go ahead and download this one, and I'll download the California license plates as well. Gameplay mods, we have these ones over here, and I'll download just the recommended ones. That being Beta Vegetation props, Euphoria Ragdoll, Persistent Weapon Flashlight, and Real Paramedics. Downloading all of them, it could take some time depending on how big they are. Scrolling down more, we have vehicle mods, and over here we have game config for add-on crash fix, and it says required, so I'll go ahead and install this one as well. Scrolling down, we have weapon mods, though these are all optional, so I'm going to skip these for now. And then we have a bunch of frequently asked questions that I'll go ahead and skip through. Then they link the NVR Discord, which will also be linked in the description down below if you'd like to join and ask the actual developer some questions himself. Then we'll go ahead and start by installing all of these mods that we went ahead and downloaded. So what I'll do is I'll move them across to a folder on my desktop just for ease of showing what's happening. So over here, I have these 7 mods that I went ahead and downloaded. So what I'll do is I'll select all of the files, right-click, 7-zip, and I'll click extract to // which will extract them all to their own individual directories. As such, if I refresh, you'll see we have all of the zipped files up here and all of these similarly named folders over here that all contain the contents of these zips. Though of course, if you're using WinRAR or something different, you probably won't be able to do this and you'll have to extract them separately. So deleting all of the temporary zip files, I'll go ahead and start alphabetically. So BVP, I'll open up the README, and we'll have a look at the installation section. So move the Beta Veg Props folder in Mods Update 64 DLC Packs. So opening up my GTAV folder, I'll head across to Mods Update x64 DLC Packs, and I'll add Beta Veg Props into here. Then add this to DLC list.xml. How exactly do we get to this? Well, heading back a folder again, we need to edit update.rbf. So open IV, mods, update, update.rbf, common data, and then it will have a DLC list.xml, which will be down here at XML text. I'll simply make sure to enable edit mode in the top right over here. Yes. I'll right click on DLC list and click edit. Then I'll scroll down to the very bottom and I'll copy paste in this line of text. As such, save. Then I'll make a new scripts folder. So I'll simply select all of these CS and INI files, drag and drop them across, and we're done with this mod. Can close out of the README and head into the next one. Then next up, we'll do the California license plates. So README, installation, all we need to do is open this folder and replace this file over here. So open IV, go to x64e.rpf. So I'll head back to the main GTA 5 folder and find this file, x64e. I'll double click on it. Then we'll get this pop-up over here saying show in mods folder. Then I'll go ahead and open the mods folder, followed by x64e.rpf. Of course, if you don't have this file, make sure to copy it across from the main game files folder. Then we'll head into levels, GTA 5, vehicles.rpf, and we'll simply replace the existing vehshare.ytd with the one that we have downloaded. I'll scroll down to vehshare.ytd, which is this one over here. I'll right click on it and click replace. Then I'll double click on vehshare.ytd that we downloaded, and we're done there. I can close out of this README and go back a folder. Then Real Paramedics, all we need to do is simply copy this DLL file into the main games folder as such. Then we have RCA. I'll go ahead and open up installation, and we see what we need to do. Open IV, go to mods update x64 DLC packs, and then drag and drop the folder called RCA into there. So I'll head across to that folder, mods update x64 DLC packs. Then we'll drag and drop this RCA folder across into here. And when it's done, we see that we need to go to mods update and edit DLC list. So I'll head back there, mods update, update.rpf, common, data, scroll down to the bottom, DLC list, edit, and at the very bottom, we'll go ahead and add in this line over here. Copy, new line, paste, save. Close out of this, and we can go back a folder. Then we have persistent weapon flashlight, README, installation. We're going to go with the scripthook5.net version. So install scripthook 5, already done, and install scripthook5.net, which I haven't done. I'll go ahead and do now. I'll download the .zip from the link, open it up, and simply select all of these files other than the license and README, and then drag and drop them across to my main game files folder. Then I can close out of the zip and this page over here. Then I can close out of the README. Then we'll open up scripthook5.net version and drag and drop the script folder across into here. Done. Then we can go back again and open up the next mod. This README file over here doesn't contain much information other than the manual installation, so I'll go ahead and skip this. All we need to do is simply use this OIV over here. So I'll go to Package Installer once again and navigate into the ERO, open up the OIV and click Install. Mods, Install. Then I'll click Close, head back to the folder, and that's basically it. This last one over here just contains settings for how much traffic and pedestrians you want, though I won't be installing this one, downloaded it by accident. I'll go ahead and remove it. Anyways, now that we're done installing all of the optional mods basically possible, I've skipped out on quite a few, I'll delete the temporary folder, and now we're finally ready to go ahead and launch up the game. So with everything done, I can close out of everything, make sure everything's saved, and open up the Epic Games launcher. From here, we can finally go ahead and start up the actual game. Now with NaturalVision installed, VisualV, as well as a bunch of other mods, Grand Theft Auto 5, and we'll simply wait for it to start. And we know we have everything working because in the bottom left we have NaturalVision Remastered's icon. And there we go, we're finally inside of our house. FPS feels a little bit different, but not too bad. So really all that's left now is to just wander around your world and enjoy the way that it looks. Of course, as you probably know by now, the way that this mod looks best is at nighttime. And even with rain, so let's go ahead and do exactly that. Here we go. And there we go. Now you can go ahead and enjoy your relatively good looking game, though compared to the new version that you have to pay for, there is quite an obvious difference. Though of course, if you're not willing to pay $10, then this is probably as good as you're going to get. As for what it is, it does look pretty good. These shadows are a little bit shimmery, though I would assume changing the graphics settings a little bit in my options would probably fix that. But anyways, besides that, we've got some relatively good performance, and besides a little bit of flickering, things look really good. Then of course, if you'd like to see me do a version of this video on the paid plugin that costs you $10, then make sure to leave a comment down below. Now of course, I won't be able to share that, and if you'd like to go ahead and try to pirate it, I'd just like to warn you that there are going to be tons and tons of virus-filled versions out there, so I wouldn't even bother if you value your computer at all. Anyways, that's about it for this video. Again, if you'd like to see me do a video on the paid version of this mod, then make sure to leave a comment down below, and I'll probably get around to it. Anyways, my name's been TechNobo here for Troubleshoot. Hopefully this video helped you, and I'll see you all next time. Ciao!